I've given you my breakdown. Let me go to this guy for his breakdown. He's become known for this. Either he shows up day of or he shows up day after and breaks down what he heard day of. Let's go to San Antonio. Gino. Hey, Gino, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I loved that last phone call from Drizzle, but honestly, if 19 people call and none of them reference you, it's not because you're relevant, bro. But, whatever. Good for you. 17 great calls on Friday, and 2 people earn-hearting themselves in the jungle walls. Romy, it's come and gone. I, for one, enjoyed Friday as much as any Smackoff I've ever heard, but some things really did stick out to me. For example, Victor by Broadway pairing up with Greg in Vegas. Not since Ford decided to combine the gas tank and the rear bumper in a Pinto has a decision seemed so clearly designed to fail. I mean, you do know that Greg's entire act is based on ramping up amputee smack until Rome just can't take it anymore, right? This was your plan, Victor, a tandem bike ride with a guy who had his chances of dying with any dignity surgically removed years ago? Nah. And Sarah T, to quote Benny, clean it up, girl. By now, I'm sure you've noticed the panhandlers in Providence are throwing change at you at the stoplights. Clean it up. And Mark in Boston, look, Mark, I mean, you fled Michigan. You abandoned your home state. Call it a win. Nobody blames you. I'd be embarrassed if I was from Michigan, too. We understand. It's okay. You did the right thing. Kaleb in Green Bay, a true tale of woe. Not since the Winklevoss twins has anybody so clearly had success ripped away from them by technology. I actually think you had the best call of the day. That's my opinion. It was easily the cleverest, but your connection just ruined that phone call. Mike and Indy, I'm on record as a fan, bro. I literally bought the You Better Don't t-shirt online from you, but your call formula has less dexterity than Mickey Rourke's face. Your material is so repetitive that they can't even make a drinking game out of it because people would die halfway through your call. Your calls run more hot and cold than Taylor Swift and Jake Gyllenhaal. And I know that Jeff in Richmond called, but I did not hear one thing that he said because I was so mesmerized by the images that he sent in. These were the good ones, Jeff? Romy, why did you keep showing IMDb images of Johnny Roastbeef from Goodfellas during his phone call? Or was that Paul Sorvino after he put the weight on? I really couldn't tell. And what was the point of that hashtag in the picture, Jeff? Holler if you hear me? Was it because the girl that was hugging your gut in the picture was so far away from your head that it's likely she couldn't make out what you were saying? Look, I know the camera puts on 10 extra pounds, but how many cameras were you using for those pictures? And those images were creepy, bro. I'm willing to bet in the next year they won't even be referred to as pictures. They'll be called evidence. And finally, congratulations to Lev for winning the 2020 Smackoff, even though he didn't use any gimmicks, no helicopters, no studio crashing, no luxury payphones in Dana Point. But hey, listen, you won $5,000, right? I mean, that's really something. Oh, wait, you live in California where state income tax is so high that it actually makes better financial sense to just not show up and take the money. But at least you won the Smackoff in a year where nothing else is going on, so I'm sure it's going to stand out. And in the years to come, when we think back on 2020, it'll be remembered as the year Left won his third. But in all seriousness, Rome, there really is a lot of far more important things going on in the world right now, and it might seem out of place to be calling in just to crack on each other. But in all honesty, I cannot think of another time where I really needed to have a good laugh and hear from callers that really do make the daily grind a little more bearable for me. So to all the callers that called in on Friday, I want to thank all of you for your efforts, your time, and your energy that I know it takes to call into a Smackoff. And to you, Romy, and to all the fellows behind the glass in the studio, I say thanks for the vine.
My man, Gino, I appreciate you. That's a great call. That is a great, great call and a great recap. He's known for that. As you might imagine, Gino on day of is as good as anybody. And on day after, probably better than anybody. Gino, San Antonio, old school. He's done that a long, long time. That's a great breakdown. 1-800-636-8686. You might be listening and think to yourself, damn, Gino, you should do that on Friday. You don't live in California. You might get to keep some of that money. That's a great line. Better to just not call in if you're in Cali than to win the $5,000. He did win $5,000. The winner gets $5,000.